Hi, my name's John. I'm here on the 268 footers that we're selling for Clipper, and I've done around the world with Clipper on the 70s, and these boats have actually been around the world 5 times. Now we're looking at moving them on to a new home, and we'll take you around the boat and show you some of the shots. These yachts were designed by Ed Dubois with Robin Knox Johnson, and they were designed to take people safely around the world. These boats have actually done 5 times around the world. They're solid fiberglass, and they're 68 foot, and the mast is about 90 foot. We trained with about 15 people on the courses here in Australia, but going around the world you could have up to about 20 people. Hot bunking, there's about 16 bunks downstairs with 2 spares, and yeah, these boats are great for training and for cruising around the world. I see these boats could be up in the Whitsundays, taking backpackers out, training people for offshore racing, maybe Sydney to Hobart. These are fantastic boats with a lot of miles under their keel, and they're very sturdily made. Here we are in the snake pit. We call it the snake pit because there are so many lines here. This is where we put all our reefs in, raise ourselves with the halyards and trim as well. We've got 11 Harken winches and grinders in this area, so a lot of action here when we're racing. Everything comes back to this point here, apart from the main sheet at the back, but everything else can be worked from here, and obviously the winches around the deck with the grinder. So the rig was made to be pretty bulletproof, especially for going down into the Southern Ocean. Here we have the runners either side for when we're attacking and jibing, and at the front there we have an inner forestay that's really sturdy, and some of the weather we've had in the Southern Ocean has been quite extreme, to say the least. We've got obviously one main with 3 reefs in it, and we have 3 headsails and 1 staysail. We have the Yankee 1, Yankee 2 and Yankee 3, that's what we call them on Clipper. And obviously as the wind comes up we start changing down. So the sails are very sturdy. They're made of very heavy material. These boats have 3 asymmetric kites that we run off of the bowsprit and back to the winches in the cockpit here. Here we have the inflatable life raft areas. They're very easy to get to. We have one either side of the companionway as you come out on deck, and yeah, they're very easy. You just take off these covers and throw the life raft over the side. Here we have the main sheet and traveller. The main sheet is on the port side. The lines for moving the car up and down are on the starboard side, and when the wind increases or decreases we would be moving this car up and down the traveller from this position here. The grinder in the centre of the boat is for trimming the headsails when they're up, and the kites, and we use it also for getting the main up. Because it's such a big main, it's easier if there's a couple of people on the grinders getting the main up, and it's quicker. These boats were made with novices in mind, and we trained them up on these boats, and yeah, there's plenty of winches and things around to help them to trim the sails and such like. This is the saloon area where we eat our meals after they've been cooked in the galley. We have a lot of storage area under the seats and then in the pockets around, as you can see. So this is where everyone congregates before they go on deck or after they come on deck, and for lunch, meals and breakfast times. And also in this area you can access the engine, which is under the seat in the center of the boat. Under this couch we have the Perkins Sabre Marine M130C diesel engine. It's very easy to get to. We just take off these cushions and take off the timber work around it, and we can get right to the engine. So as you can see, you can get access to everything here. We have the 100-litre diesel day tank here, and we have all your filters that are easy to get to, plus all your switches and that for the 4 diesel tanks at the front. We've got about 1,200 litres of diesel on board, plus the 100-litre day tank. We've also got the fire pump down here, and mechanical diesel pump. If the electric goes, we can still get diesel from the tanks to the engine. We have the genset under the stairs. It all runs off of the same diesel, comes to the same day tank, and we check this a couple of times a day if we're running the engine, and just top it up as we need it from the 4 tanks forward. We usually cruise along at about 8 or 9 knots. You know, not pushing it. So yeah, this Perkins Sabre engine is fantastic. They're in all the clipper boats that we have, and I'm sure they'll be in the next type of boats when they come along. We have straight shaft drive down here with the gearbox. Everything is very easy, as you can see, to get to. And here is the heat exchanger. Here we have the huge galley that we can feed up to about 22 people when they're coming on and off watches. We have a 3-burner stove here, two sinks, and plenty of storage for all the utensils that you'll need for cooking up a delightful meal when sailing around the world. We don't have refrigeration on the boat. What some boats do when they decide that when you're going to start the race, some people might put their own fridge on here, but Clipper doesn't supply that when they're going around. If the crews want to buy a fridge, they can install one, electric one, but they don't come with the boats. We've got 4 195-litre freshwater tanks, and we keep spare water in the lazarette as well at the back of the boat, and we have grey tanks and black tanks either side of the boat as well. The gas cylinders for the stoves are kept up on the aft starboard side, and there's two gas cylinders on one side. Oh sorry, there's 4 gas cylinders, 2 on one side but 2 on the other. So we just use gas when we're going around the world or racing around the world, because it's clean, efficient, and yeah, it works very well. Okay, so here we are in the nav station. This is where we have all our plotters, and down below deck instruments and radios, and the controls for the engines, electronics as well. So this is the actual nav table that we use, and underneath we have all the charts and things for navigating around the world. There's a lot of kit on these boats, so you just need to have a look through the inventory for what's on there. We've got radar, we've got Raymarine navigation systems, we've got handheld radios. So yeah, there's lots of equipment on these boats. These boats are fantastic to sail, especially in big weather. We've had these boats up to and over 30 knots. going down waves over the North Pacific in some very, very big swells and seas. So they're very high performance, lots of sail area, so quite quick boats. Yeah, there's plenty of sail area to get these boats going upwind, and we usually run about 30 to 35 degrees off of the wind for the most power. And yeah, the actual gear that we have on here, the sails we have on here, plenty of power to get us going. Around the equator, you know, any boat in the doldrums won't go very far, very fast, but we've gone through the doldrums in these in 6 hours when there's been no wind, and in 4 days as well. So it all depends on what's happening on the day, but because of the huge kite area and the huge foresail areas, these boats keep pushing along. So this is the crew accommodation, and we have 12 bunks in this area, as well as the watertight doors at both ends, so we can lock off the area totally. Under the floorboards here, we have 4 195 litre water tanks, freshwater tanks, and under here we have the 4 diesel tanks as well, and that's about 1,200 litres of fuel. Also, we keep the sails on the floor in this area when we're racing, and we use the hatch to get the sails in and out. It's a very, very big hatch, so we can get the big kites up quite easily. This could be converted into a huge salon, huge lounge area for anyone who wanted a boat this side to travel around the world. You could do multiple things with a boat like this. You could have it for backpacking up in the Whitsundays, taking charters, but you could also convert this into a huge area for cruising and lounging around. So this is the rope locker we have here, and this is all locked off with the huge watertight doors when we're out at sea. We have another access hatch to get in and out of the rope locker above our heads here. Plus, forward of here we have the crash bulkhead, so we can lose the bow of the boat, and there's no problem. We've got about 10 foot of crash bulkhead, so everything's taken for safety here. What impresses me mostly about these boats are they're so sturdy, so strong, so safe. You know, like I say, we've been in some really big seas with these boats, and they're second to none. There's plenty of storage place in here as well. You know, as you can see around the boat, there's lockers and things for people to store all their kit. So yeah, they're just built for, you know, serious sailing. These boats have 2 heads, one port side, one starboard. And plus we have the black tanks under the decks just outside, so you know, at sea you would just flush the toilets over the side. In port you have your black tanks to lock off until you go back to sea. Further aft at this point we have the mate's area on one side. There are 2 bunks there for the mate and another bunk for another crew member, and that's where we keep all our tools, our equipment, our spares. On the starboard side we have another area there, and that's for the skipper, and he has all the safety equipment over there, spares for life jackets, harnesses and navigational stuff over there as well. When we were at sea, we always had to hook on at night, and when the wind was over about 16 knots, so we were always clipping on. And the jack stays go from basically just outside of the ladder here, and you can get all the way to the back of the boat and all the way to the front of the boat being clipped on. So there's plenty of safety gear out there for you to stay attached to the boat. So when you're training with Clipper, they take you through everything. So they teach you how to mend sails, service diesel engines. So you're basically you're a unit and you can look after yourself at sea. These are a fantastic training boat for novices, and for experienced sailors, you know, they're certainly a thoroughbred, especially for their time. And yeah, they're a great boat to experience, especially in big seas and big weather. Very safe.